I've got a message for you. The message tonight is called Be Ready for the Blessing. Let me tell you something. A lot of times there's something that you want, something that you desire, and you're begging for it, you're praying for it, you're hoping for it, you're wishing for it. But the question is, if you were to get it right now, would you be ready? Like, would you be ready for this thing that you want? And so I got a story to share with you, and there's some lessons in there for all of us. But let me tell you something. You got to be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. We've heard that expression over and over again. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You better make sure that if you do get it, that you are ready to receive it. So do me a quick favor as you're tuning in right now, go ahead and put in your city and your state. So I go ahead and give you a quick shout out as you're tuning in and joining for the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life Motivational live stream. So do me a favor right now, go ahead and put in your city and your state. So I go ahead and give you a quick shout out. And once again, tonight's message is called Be Ready for the Blessing. Once again, tonight's message is called Be Ready for the Blessing. Because, so often in life, I believe that we find ourselves sort of wishing and hoping that we're going to make some great things happen, right? So we're hoping to be able to grow and scale the business, to go to a six-figure business, multiple six-figure business, or even a seven-figure business. We're hoping that we be able to get all kind of leads and get the kind of customers that we desire. We're hoping that we're going to get the big opportunities, the big checks, and the big stages, whatever the big stage represents for you. But we're always hoping and wishing that things are going to increase in our lives and things are going to increase in our business. But what I find is that oftentimes we have this desire for more and we have a desire for increase. But what I realize is that most of us, if we be very, very honest with ourselves, that we would realize that some of the things that we desire in our lives, some of the things that we want, guess what? We're not even ready to receive it. And so there's a powerful lesson in that for us. Listen, I'm asking you right now, the things that you say that you want in your life, more finances, an amazing family, the ability to travel around the world, all the things that you're saying that you want in your life, I've got a question for you. Are you ready? Are you ready to receive those things? Like, do you have the capacity? Like, have you worked on yourself? Have you stretched yourself? Have you expanded your gifts? Have you expanded like what you're capable of processing, what you're capable of handling? And what I realize is this, that there are many of us, we're asking for some things, but let me tell you right now, we are not ready to receive it. So my thing for you is I want you to be ready for the blessing. Let me tell you what inspired this message. This is what inspired this message. I want you to follow along with me. Now, do me a favor, as you're tuning in right now, go ahead and hit the share button, because I know that there's somebody that you're connected to. There's somebody that you're connected to, like they're hoping, they're wishing, and they're praying for something to happen in their lives, and they need to hear this message, because we're going to save them from having this thing show up in their lives before they're ready to receive it, right? So there's some great things that you want for your life. Like, I love the fact that you want to have an amazing family. I love the fact that you want to travel around the world. I love the fact that you want to have a six-figure or multiple six-figure business. I love the fact that you want to be able to serve more people, serve more clients. I love the fact that you want to make more impact. I love the fact that you want to get on big stages and speak to big audiences. All of that is awesome. I love it that you're a big visionary, that you got big goals and big dreams. The only thing is, are you ready? Like, would you be ready if the opportunity presented itself right now? Would you be ready to receive it? Like, would you be ready? And let me tell you why. So this is how the story goes. So my mom calls me up one day and she tells me, "Oh, Andy, I got to tell you a story." I said, "What's going on, Mom?" She said, "I was driving in the rain. And as I was driving in the rain, it was like pouring down, serious pour down, tarantula type rain. And I saw this gentleman who was walking on the sidewalk. And she said everyone was just simply driving right past this guy, and no one took the time to stop to offer him a ride. So my mom said she turned her car around, made a U-turn, and pulled over and told this guy, get in the car. Now, first of all, I had to stop my mom right there and say, "Hey, Mom, do me a favor. Don't make a habit of picking up strangers on the side of the road. I love your heart. I love the fact that you want to help people out, but that's not always the safest thing to do. I'm glad that everything turned out okay, but let's not make a habit of this, but go ahead and finish up with the story." So she said, "Yeah, Andy." So I picked this guy up. When I get him in the car, this guy was so grateful. He said, "Oh my goodness." He said he was walking, and as he was walking, he was saying, "Oh my God, like, I can't believe all these people are just driving by and no one's taking the moment to just stop and just pull over and ask me if I need a ride. Like, they see me walking in this rain and nobody." And he saw my mom. He said, "You don't understand, lady. You just answered my prayers. Like, I literally was just praying I was saying, oh my gosh, God, I'm walking in this rain. I have no vehicle. And, all these people are driving by. I'm like in this pouring rain and no one stops. And I just asked God, please just have somebody stop and offer me a ride. And here you are, you pick me up. And so my mom calls me up. She says, oh my gosh, I met this guy. I picked him up on the side of the road. He was just such an awesome guy. He said he had literally just finished praying that someone would help him out. I said, Mom, that's fantastic. And then so we ended up having a conversation. And my mom said, haven't you been thinking about buying a new car? I said, yeah, Mom, I've been talking about buying a new car. As you know, I've been talking about buying a new car for many, many years now. She said, yeah, well, listen, I said, well, I know where you're getting at, Mom. Listen, if I do buy a new car, then maybe perhaps we can go ahead and give my truck to this guy because clearly he needs it. He doesn't have a car and everything. So lo and behold, a month goes by and I actually decide to buy a new car. So I buy a new car and I call my mom up and I say, hey, Mom, you know what? I had another guy that I was thinking about giving my car to. He got hooked up. He has a car. You mentioned that you gave this guy a ride on the side of the road. Go ahead and call this guy up. Put me on the phone with him because I'm going to see if maybe I could bless him with my car. And my mom was so excited. She said, oh my goodness, I'm so happy. This is perfect. We're going to give this guy the car. This is going to be perfect. This is amazing. I know he needs it. Fantastic. So my mom gives the guy my number. So the guy picks up the phone and he gives me a call and I end up speaking to him just yesterday. So we get on the phone and he tells me the story. He says, oh my gosh, your mom's amazing. Right now I don't have a car and I was catching the bus and I was walking outside and it was raining like crazy. Your mom pulled over. She told me to get in the car. I was reluctant to get in the car. I got in the car. Your mom's absolutely amazing. Then your mom told me that you might be buying a new car. She wasn't sure. I heard you got a new car and I heard that you wanted to give your car away. And I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much that you're thinking about giving the car to me. I said, listen, man, I said, absolutely. I said, well, let me ask you a question because, I want to make sure that I give the car to somebody who's going to be able to use it right away. And so I said, listen, so right now is the only reason why you're catching the bus is because you don't have a car. And I said, if that's the case, I said, I want to give you this car. I said, but let me just ask you a question. You do have a driver's license, right? Now, when I asked him if he had a driver's license, he said, I said, well, he said, I'm saving up money to get a driver's license. I said, wait a second, something's not adding up there. Why are you saving money up to get a driver's license? And he says, well, actually, I had some legal issues in the past. And because of that, currently right now, I do not have a driver's license. Now, I'm trying to pay off those issues and deal with those legal issues that I dealt with so that I can get a driver's license. I said, well, how long is that going to take? Is that going to be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? He's like, well, hopefully I'll take care of that in the next couple of months. I said, okay, well, listen. All right, I understand you're taking care of some legal issues. I said, well, let me ask you a question right now. My car is sitting right now in the parking lot of my condo. I have a brand new car that's sitting also in my parking lot condo. I need to take my previous tag and transfer it to my new car. Right now I have some temporary tags. And so I need to give you this car right away. And so I said, if I were to tell you to come pick up this car right now, like I'm telling you right now, like this truck is sitting in my driveway right now. It's out there in the parking lot. I've already taken everything out. I have the title in hand. I'm just going to simply sign this title over to you. All you have to do is come over here and pick it up. How will you come pick it up? And so he said, well, here's what I'll do. I'll talk to my boss. I'm going to have my boss come over. We're going to pick up the car. I'm going to drive the car and then my boss will follow me. I said, wait a second. That doesn't sound like a good idea. You just told me you don't have a driver's license. And now not only would you not have a driver's license, but you'd be operating a vehicle without registration, without insurance, and without a tag. That's probably a very, very bad idea. You don't want to do that. I said, do you have another game plan? Like, what could you do right now to come get this vehicle? Like, I want to give this vehicle to you, but I also don't want it to be a situation where I give you the vehicle, it gets towed, and you can't go get it out of towing, and then now the vehicle's been lost. Because I know there's other people who can use the vehicle right now. And so we spent some time on the phone. And at the end of the conversation, I had to be honest with him. And well, here's what I told him. I said, listen, man, I really want to help you out, but this is one of those cases where you are not ready, you are not prepared to receive this blessing. And so I know you've been praying and asking for a car. And here it is that now an opportunity has presented itself for you to get a car. And I still believe that you will get your car. But this car that I want to give you right now, you're not prepared to receive this blessing. And so you're not prepared for this thing that I want to give to you right now. And it had me thinking as I was speaking to him, I started thinking to myself, I said, how many times have I been sort of wishing and praying and hoping for something, and maybe the thing that I was hoping and praying for, I wasn't even ready to receive it? And so I want you to think about something that you've been hoping and praying for, something that you really want to make happen in your life, in your personal life, in your finances, in your relationship, in your business. And I want you to ask yourself this question. Whatever it is that you've been praying for, whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is that you're pursuing, I want you to ask yourself the question. I want you to be very honest. Are you ready to receive it? Like, are you ready right now? Like, you want to have more clients? If you were to get 100 new clients right now, would you be ready to service those clients? Like, you want to be able to have this amazing family. If you did have this family and God blessed you and you had this family, are you ready for the responsibilities that come with this family? Like, you want to be able to travel all around the world and do all these amazing things. Are you ready for the sacrifices that you're going to have to make to be able to travel all around the world? Like, you want to be able to get in front of large audiences and share your message and share your story. But are you ready if the opportunity will present itself right now to get in front of a large audience? Would you be ready? Would you be prepared to deliver the goods? And so here's what I come to discover, that oftentimes we hope, we wish, and we pray for things that we're not prepared and ready to receive. And so here's what I want you to understand. You have to be ready. You have to literally be ready for all the things that you want in your life. In other words, you have to start working right now to increase your capacity. And let me help you to understand what I mean by that. Some of us that we're asking for swimming pool sized blessings. Like, you're hoping and you're wishing for like swimming pool sized blessings to come over your business, to come over your finances, to come over your relationship. But yet you are standing there and you're hoping for a swimming pool sized blessing. But what you really have room for is just a single cup serving. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Like, you're standing there with a single cup. Like, that is the extent of your capacity, but you're wanting a swimming pool sized blessing. If you were to get that swimming pool sized blessing, that little cup that you're holding in your hand, it would get washed away. That little cup that you're holding in your hand, it would shatter. That little cup that you're holding in your hand doesn't even have room to receive the thing that you want. And so what I want you to understand is this, that it's great for you to have big goals. It's great for you to have big vision. It's great for you to desire big things in your life. But understand that you've got to put in the time to prepare and to get ready to receive the blessing that you want and the blessings that you have. In other words, you have to be ready. You have to be ready for the blessing. You have to be ready for the things. Listen, if you know that you're willing to do the work to be ready, if you believe that you're ready right now for some of the things that you desire in your life, I want you to do me a favor right now in the comment section, put hashtag be ready, hashtag be ready, because I believe that that's what you've got to do. You know, just as much time as you're putting into dreaming, just as much time as you're putting in to sort of hoping and wishing and praying for these amazing things to happen in your life, you've got to put in just as much time to literally start preparing and making sure that you're going to be ready to receive the blessing that you want in your life. Like, you're going to be ready. Like, you want to be able to get in front of these major audiences, but do you understand you've got to put in some work? You've got to speak in front of a bunch of small audiences before you can get ready to be in front of the large audience. Like, you're talking about how you want to be able to have this amazing family. Do you understand that you've got to be able to expand your capacity so that you're not only going to be responsible for yourself, but you're going to be responsible for other people? And so you got to expand your capacity so that you can take on the responsibility of this family that you say that you want. Like, you saying that you want to be able to have a six-figure, multiple six-figure, or even a seven-figure business. Do you understand that with that comes so many more responsibilities that you're going to have to change your creativity? You're going to have to change your ability to serve. You're going to have to increase your level of prices. There's so many things that you're going to have to do to increase your capacity. And what I need you to get is this, that some of the blessings that you're asking for, that the only way that you're going to get those blessings is you've got to be ready. Like you've got to start preparing yourself right now. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. You got to start preparing yourself right now for the thing that you want. Do me a favor in the comment section, put hashtag be ready, because that's what you got to do. Listen, the worst feeling in the world is to have an opportunity to come your way and for you not to be ready for it. That's why it's been said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. There's so often that opportunities are going to come your way, but if you're not ready for those opportunities, if you're not prepared for those opportunities, guess what happens? They crumble and they break down right in front of you. Listen, I remember one time watching a special, and at the time, it was when Oprah Winfrey was still on mainstream television. This was before she started her own network. And they had something that they were calling the O factor, right? And what the O factor was is that people were coming on to the Oprah Winfrey show. You remember at one point, everybody who was an entrepreneur, everybody who had something amazing, their big dream, their big goal was to get on the Oprah Winfrey show. Because if you got on the Oprah Winfrey show, then all of a sudden you was going to blow up, right? All of a sudden, like everybody was going to know about you. You were going to sell like a ridiculous amount of product, ridiculous amount of services. Your credibility was going to go through the roof. Your website was going to get all kind of traffic. Amazing things were going to happen. And so I remember when Oprah Winfrey decided to go ahead and start her own network, that in order to do a tie-in to her previous show, she started a show called Where Are They Now? Where Are They Now? You remember that show, right? On the OWN network, where Oprah Winfrey would go ahead and do a recap of somebody who came onto her show, and now they were tracing the people to sort of figure out, like, where are they now? What has happened in their life, right? And so I remember I'm watching the Oprah Winfrey show, Where Are They Now? So do me a favor, because I know that there's somebody you're connected to, they're going to benefit from hearing this. So do me a favor, hit the share button, because there's somebody that needs to hear this, right? So at that time, they're talking about how Oprah Winfrey's show is like the O factor. And the reason why they're calling it the O factor, if you had a product, if you had a service, if you had something that you were doing and you were a guest on the Oprah Winfrey show, chances are you were going to blow up. Like, people were going to find out about you. So many people were going to go to your website. You were going to get sales phone calls off the hook. And so I remember there's a couple people who came on to the Oprah Winfrey show, and they had presented their products, and they had an opportunity to really get all this massive exposure. And I remember watching the show saying, oh my gosh, this person's business probably just completely blew up. Everything did amazing. They probably, like, their business just blew off the roof, just amazing things happened. And so Oprah's show, Where Are They Now, was following some of these people. And I just couldn't believe it. My mouth was like, fell down to the ground, because there was like 3 people who made it on the Oprah Winfrey show, all of which had businesses, all of which, as a result of being on the Oprah Winfrey show, got a ridiculous amount of traffic on their website, got a ridiculous amount of phone calls. And the thing that all 3 of them had in common is that even though it sounded like things were going to be absolutely amazing for them, guess what ended up happening? Everything fell apart. So what happened is they got so much traffic on their website that their website crashed, because they didn't have the right bandwidth, they didn't have the right capacity to be able to take that amount of traffic. Or they got so many sales offers, so many sales calls, so many people made purchases that they weren't able to fulfill all the purchases. And now people were disgruntled, they were upset, they were asking for refunds, and they were canceling their orders. Or what ended up happening was they just got inundated with all kind of additional opportunities that they just were not prepared for. And so here they were, they got this ridiculous blessing, right? They got to be on primetime television. They got to be on the Oprah Winfrey show. They got all this exposure. They got all this traffic to their website. All these orders came in, and guess what happened? They were not ready for the blessing, right? And so what ended up happening was, instead of it being a blessing, it turned into a burden. Instead of their business blowing up, it blew up. You hear me? Listen, instead of their business blowing up, it blew up. The business like ended because they got a bad rap. All these people were ordering, all these people were canceling, and everything just went completely south. And so as I was watching the show, what it made me realize is that there's a lot of times that we're praying and we're wishing and we're hoping for all these amazing things to happen in our life. But what we don't realize is that there's some work involved. And you got to be careful. Remember, we heard the old adage before, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it, right? And so we don't think about it, but there are certain things that you're wishing for, that you're hoping for, that guess what? If you had a genie, or better yet, if God were to bless you with those things right now, I would venture to say that some of the things that you're asking for, you probably need some additional work that you need to do before you can make it happen. Listen, I'm trying to tell you right now, I think about this particular year. This particular year has been absolutely amazing year for me. I believe that when you are in your life and when you're in business, you're going to go through different seasons. And I believe that right now, I am just in an amazing season in my life where doors are just being open, opportunity after opportunity are just coming my way. Connections are happening, and amazing things are happening in my personal life, and amazing things are happening in my business. But what I realize is that as I look back at this year and I look at some great things that have happened, like I had something on my vision board, and I'm literally, I fly out tomorrow to go to the NSA conference. And I remember putting something on my vision board just for me to go to the NSA conference. And earlier on this year, I got a phone call and I had an opportunity to actually speak and do a training and the closing keynote for the NSA Brand Lab. And then I remember just, envisioning and always wanting to be a part of the direct selling association, because that industry has had such an impact in my life. And I always wanted to speak at major conventions for direct selling industry companies. And I had an opportunity to be a speaker, to do both a training and a keynote for the CEOs at the Direct Selling Association, which then resulted to me picking up some keynote opportunities to speak at major direct selling conferences that are going to have thousands of people who are in the audience. And so I'm looking at these amazing things that happen now. I want you to understand that these things are happening right now, but I have been wishing and hoping and praying for those things to happen for years. But what I want you to understand is this. What I realized is that if I fast forward like 5 years ago and I had been asking for these things, there are some of the things that I was asking for that, truth be told, I wasn't ready. I still needed work to do. I still needed to develop my craft. I needed to increase my capacity. I needed to work on myself. I need to do some things so that the way that doors are opening right now and the way that I'm leveraging the opportunity, if it would have been me several years ago, I would not be able to leverage the opportunities the way that I am right now. In other words, I was not ready. And so what I want you to understand is this. I want you to dream big. I want you to have big goals. I want you to think about all the amazing things that you want to have. Like, I want you to envision becoming one of the top earners in your direct sales company. I want you to be thinking about, being this amazing mother, being this amazing father, being this amazing husband and wife. I want you to be thinking about traveling around the world. I want you to be thinking about having a 6-figure and 7-figure business. I want you to think about being that best-selling author. I want you to think about being this amazing keynote speaker and this great coach. Like, I want you dreaming. I want you thinking about how you can leverage your gifts, your skills, and your talents to be able to make tremendous impact. I want you to think about becoming world renowned. Whatever your heart's desire is, I want you thinking about those things. However, I want you to realize this, that more than you just hoping and wishing and praying about it, you also need to put in some work. And so what you got to do is you got to start making sure that you're ready. And part of making sure that you're ready is you've got to increase your capacity. You see, because what I realize is this, that there are many of us, and I told you this before, we have like swimming pool size dreams, swimming pool size like blessings that we're hoping to come into our lives. But we're standing with like a little mug, a little cup to receive the huge swimming pool size blessing that we desire for ourselves. And so I want you to envision for a second that there's a swimming pool worth of water. Like, I grew up in a house that had a swimming pool. I don't know if you really understand how much water a regular swimming pool holds. I mean, it holds a lot of water. Now, I want you to envision all that water in the swimming pool and somebody who's standing there with just a regular mug, and they're expecting you to pour all the water, all the blessing, all the increase, right, from that swimming pool into their little cup, you would look at them like they're absolutely ridiculous. Matter of fact, they would drown from you pouring all that water on them. They just wouldn't even be ready. It would overwhelm them. The little cup that's in their hand, it would shatter. It would just be brushed away. It would just float away. And so what I want you to understand is this, that's how, if you wanted a visual, that's how many of us are showing up in our lives. You see, we're expecting like a swimming pool sized blessing, but we're standing there with this really teeny small cup. And so what I want you to understand is you got to increase your capacity. And part of increasing your capacity is doing the work. Part of increasing your capacity is expanding your skills. Part of increasing your capacity is getting the coaching, the mentoring. Part of increasing your capacity is going to the workshops and the seminars. Part of increasing your capacity is working on your craft and doing the things that you got to do so that you can take things to another level. And so I want you to do me a favor. I want you in the comment section, just put hashtag increase my capacity, increase my capacity, because it's one of the things that's absolutely required, right? It's the only way that you're going to be able to handle and be able to receive the things that you say that you want in your life. Listen, I don't want you to reduce the size of your dream. I don't want you to reduce the size of your vision. I want you to have big dream. I want you to have a big vision, but I want you to understand that with a big dream and with a big vision, you also have to have a big capacity. You understand that, right? Right? The bigger the dream, the bigger the desire, the bigger the things that you want, understand that you have to have room in your life to receive it. You have to be prepared to receive it. You have to be equipped to receive it. And so ultimately, you have to be willing and able to increase your capacity. So this is where we got to take a firm look in the mirror. This is where we got to be straight up with ourselves and say, okay, I understand this. This is where you got to say, you know, I'm looking at your names right now. So Shaquille, Charles, Shantina, Darren, Sheila, Jeff, right? This is the time that you have to start. Janelle, this is the time you got to start saying to yourself right now, you have to say, okay, I know I want this. I know I want this. But now you got to ask yourself the question. It's one thing to want it. It's one thing to dream for it. It's one thing to write the vision, make it plain, all these things, right? But now you have to say to yourself, what do I need to do to prepare myself and be ready to receive the thing that I say that I want in my business, the thing that I say that I want in my personal life, the thing that I say that I want in my relationships, the thing that I say that I want, right? What do I need to do to be prepared to receive the blessing that I want? Listen, it broke my heart. It broke my heart because I could hear this guy on the phone. When I was speaking to him on the phone, I really wanted to give this guy my car, right? I got a new car. So I want to bless somebody with the car. I wanted to bless him with the car. But I was torn because I realized that this is somebody who wants the blessing, right? And needs the blessing. He needs the car. And he wants the car, but he wasn't ready for the car, right? Because if I said, I got the keys in hand, I got the title right here, come and get it. He still had other things that he has to get in order before he could receive the blessing. And so my question for you is, what do you have to put in order? What do you have to do? What do you have to work on so that you can increase your capacity, so that you can be able to have the six-figure business, so that you can have the multiple six-figure, so that you can have the seven-figure business? What do you have to do to increase your capacity so that you can have the happy, fulfilling relationship? What do you have to do to increase the capacity so that you can leverage your gifts, your skills, and your talents to make an income and to make a living? What do you have to do to increase your capacity so that you can impact more lives and be able to travel around the world and all the things that you have a desire to do? What do you need to do to be ready for the blessing? What do you need to do on your end? What is your responsibility? And this is what I've come to realize, that we have to train and we have to prepare for the opportunity that we have not yet had. I'm going to say that one more time. You have to train and you have to prepare for the opportunity that you have not yet had. Because when opportunity knocks at your door, it is too late to prepare. Do you hear me? When opportunity knocks at your door, it is too late to prepare. Either you're ready or you're not, period. You can try to make all the excuses up that you want in your life, but understand this, either you're ready or you're not. Either you have the capacity or you don't have the capacity. It's as simple as that. Either you have the capacity to receive that swimming pool worth of blessing, or you got a capacity to receive just a cup full. Many of us, we're holding the cup and we want the swimming pool worth of blessing. You can't do it. If someone were to pour that amount of blessing on you, you would be overwhelmed. You wouldn't even be ready to receive it. I've been telling my wife right now, I said, man, you know what? This year has been absolutely amazing. Door after door, opportunity after opportunity is opening up. I'm so grateful for it. And I said, man, but let me tell you something. It also feels a little overwhelming. I'm grateful, but it feels overwhelming. It feels a little overwhelming. But what I realized is that if I want even more, because I believe that there's even more in store for me. I believe I can make even more impact. I believe that there's more people who are part of my assignment. I believe that there are more audiences that I need to speak to. I believe that there's more people who need to be a part of my Master Storyteller Academy, more people who need to be part of my mastermind program. There are more people that I need to touch and influence. And so if I think this feels a little overwhelming, I have to understand, Andy, wait a second here. You got to increase your capacity so that what feels overwhelming now feels very comfortable to you. Right? So we got to learn to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because what happens is every time you increase your capacity, what you're doing is you're stretching and you're growing. And then what once felt uncomfortable now feels regular. And then that's when now you can stretch yourself and now you can find out what your next level of uncomfortable is. What happened is, to many of us, we're staying in our little comfort zone and we're not increasing our capacity. We're not going to trainings. We're not seeking out mentors. We're not working on ourselves. We're not doing the things that we need to do so that we can increase our capacity, so that we can be ready for the blessing. What I'm saying is, you got to be ready. You got to be ready. You got to be, you know, they have some, the little statements they like to say, these kids, you know, they got all these statements. They say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right? All these little statements that they say, right? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right? All these little statements that they say. And if we break it down, there's some wisdom in there. And what they're saying is that you just got to put yourself in that state where you are always ready to receive, ready to expand, ready for the next level. And so my question for you is, what's the work that you have to do? What do you need to do to get ready for the blessing? What do you need to do to be able to get to that next level? And so I believe that there are some amazing things in store for you. I believe that you're on the verge of experiencing a breakthrough. I believe that great things are going to happen for you. But I also believe that in order for those things to happen, you have to make room in your life. You have to start preparing right now. You got to start putting in the work right now. You got to be ready to be able to receive it. You got to increase your capacity so that you can receive it. And so my question for you is, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? I mean, keep the vision, keep getting excited, keep having a big vision and goal for yourself. But what do you need to do to be able to receive the thing that you say that you want in your life? And let me say this, because I know for some of you, part of what you desire is you're already successful as an entrepreneur and you want to up-level your success. Like, you want to take what you're doing to the next level. You're already a successful coach, and you want to take your capacity as a coach and you want to increase your capacity. You're a speaker. You're tuning in right now. You're listening to me, but you're a speaker yourself, and you want to up-level your game. And I believe that part of you up-leveling your game, part of you being ready, part of you increasing your capacity is really strengthening your message and your ability to be able to share and tell your story in a meaningful way. And so if you know it is your time to up-level, like you're having success, but you want to take your success to the next level, you want to be able to have a message that's so crystal clear, so great, that allows you to attract your ideal customer and your clients. You want to be able to have a message that you can share on your Facebook Lives, on webinars, teleseminars, on your emails, and on stages. Then I want to invite you to join me for my Master Storyteller Academy. My next Master Storyteller Academy is actually going to take place in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on September 13, 14, and 15 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I would absolutely love for you to join me. And it's fairly easy. All you have to do is you got to head over to masterstorytelleracademy.com, masterstorytelleracademy.com. And when you get there, you're going to find a really quick application that you're going to fill out. When you fill out that application, it's going to put you over to a calendar, and somebody on my team is going to give you all the details so that you can make a very quick decision as to whether or not this training is for you. But I can tell you, this is specifically for people who are entrepreneurs. They are speakers and they're coaches that are already successful, and they want to up-level their game. They want to take things, so they want to have more impact. They want to talk to more people. They want to be able to connect with more people, and they know that an important part of their puzzle is being able to have a really, really powerful story, a powerful message that's going to allow them to connect. If that's you, I want you to join me at the Master Storyteller Academy. And so I told you this entire message is like, listen, I love the fact that you have these big dreams, these big goals, and these big visions for yourself. But understand that with a big dream, with a big goal, with a big vision, that it's also going to require big capacity, right? You got to be ready to receive those things. And so I'm asking that as you think about the things that you want, I want you to think about, what do you need to do to prepare to receive the things that you want? What do you have to do to increase your capacity so that you can have more impact, so that ultimately you'll be able to create a shift and change and be able to impact and touch so many lives? And so I want you to think about, what do you have to do? What do you have to do to be ready for the blessing? What do you have to do to be ready for the blessing? Think about that for a moment. Think about what's your responsibility. And I believe that if you can increase your capacity, great things are going to happen.